Hey everybody, this is T with T, and you're listening to Tiana Stone, bringing you guys another episode of the show. This episode is, well, I'll put it this way. This is my second time filming this, because I initially had like this whole other thing planned out with the show, and because of the household that I live in, it got a little noisy and I had to start over. And I was looking down at my notes and I realized I want to put a little bit more emphasis on one thing. And that is self-care. Because this whole time period that we're living in, this battle that we're going through when it comes to this COVID-19 thing and also racial discrimination, I want to take some time to put some serious emphasis on, self-care. And I'm just going to list the things that I was going to say. You know, we have a tremendous amount of things going on in this world. And the stuff that I wrote down, I probably won't mention everything, which is, messed up because there's so much just stuff going on that doesn't necessarily have to go on if we just have basic human decency. But unfortunately, we live in a world that doesn't. So I just want to put some emphasis on self-care while also informing you guys about some stuff that has gone on in the past week since I last spoke to you guys. Over the past week, and actually since the whole movement against racial discrimination really got this big push and momentum, we've seen a lot of performative activism from, influencers and big name companies. And I just want to take a moment to inform you guys, take a look at the big name companies and the people who are just putting on a show for the movement and whose actions don't match their language and their words when talking about the movement. You have companies saying that they're in solidarity and that, they're for the movement, and then reports come out saying that, you can't wear t-shirts, you can't wear pins showing solidarity for the Black Lives Matter movement. And then, of course, they come out saying that they have this whack design, that's supposed to do something. But we already know what the deal is. We see what these companies and what these people are doing. So I just want to make sure that you guys are watching out for performative activism. What are people really doing? What are their actions saying about how they feel about this movement? And I also want to take a moment to just say that all Black lives matter. They always did. It's crazy. I'm living in Philadelphia and I'm seeing something like this in my own home because Dominique Fells, she was a transgender woman and she was literally found in the Schuylkill River. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes and I want to make sure that I get this right. She was found in the Schuylkill River on Tuesday. And I ain't seen nothing. The only thing I saw was on Instagram. And then apparently, she was misrepresented even in the little media coverage that she got. So I'm like, what is that about? And, over these past few weeks, we've seen numerous accounts of that. And it's like, what is going on, So I just want to put emphasis, like, the sad thing is that there are levels to our discrimination. It's bad for Black men. It's even worse for Black women. It's even worse for Black people in the LGBT community. And it's like you slap on like all these things that supposedly like make you less of a human being. It's just it's just messed up. And I just want to make sure that we all realize that when we are fighting this fight for black lives, we're fighting this fight for all black lives. Not just one section, not just, another section. We're fighting for all of us. So all black lives matter. Just keep that in mind. And I guess with this next point that I'm going to make, I'm looking at it more so from a media perspective because, I'm a media studies production major, and I feel like I've been trained to look at things from a certain perspective. My mom is always saying, like, whenever I'm watching movies or, like, news coverage, it's like, Tiana, just turn it off, just enjoy it. And I'm like, Mom, it's in my brain. So I'm always looking at stuff, or I try to. And I feel like it's important for you guys to also try to look at it from a critical perspective also, because it's like the things that are going on are not by accident. People know what they're doing when they take away health care for the LGBT community, specifically transgender people, on first things first, during Pride Month. And correct me if I'm wrong, this act or this pushback was done on the remembrance of the Pulse nightclub shooting. Like, that's not by accident. That is an insult. That is a disgrace. It's ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. And the thing about it is, first things first. One, we're going through this whole COVID-19 thing. So for it, that endangers people even more. And just, the sensitivity of what we're going through, people are being very hateful right now. You guys don't think that someone's going to take advantage of this hatefulness and then all of a sudden try to attack people just because of who they are? And then you're saying if I go to a hospital, I can be refused health care because of who I am? Like, that's ridiculous. Where is the basic human decency? We are all people. We are all people. God created us fearlessly, wonderfully. We are all beautiful creatures. No one deserves to be treated like that. So to the LGBT community and to the transgender community, I'm really praying for you guys because that is scary. And to all the healthcare workers and the doctors and the nurses, I hope you are making the right decision and you are not discriminating against people based on who they are, because that is a disgrace. It's ridiculous. It is so disheartening. So to everyone out there, please be safe. And then, of course, guess who's going to have, a little rally on Juneteenth. Now, it was pushed back to the 20th, but just the fact that it was, planned on that day initially, all this stuff is not by accident. And I'll go back to my first point. People, putting on performative performative activism, people saying one thing and doing another. It's none of this stuff is by accident. We're too knowledgeable about how to treat people, or at least I don't know. I think we are. Like, we all know what is right and wrong. So to say that these big companies and these big officials and leaders, we didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. We didn't want to do that. No, you know what your intent was. Your intent was to hurt people. Your intent was to make a scene, cause a scene, get people to see what you're doing. And, like, what exactly were you going to do on Juneteenth at your rally? Like, really? 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 Really, really? Like, we know what the deal is. What exactly were you going to say on Juneteenth? And, you got COVID-19, okay, like, you are literally endangering people's lives. You going there, you hosting it. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And it's sending the wrong message to people, because that's another thing. It is not safe to go outside. It really isn't. It's not. And it's just ridiculous how little care we have for ourselves as human beings, and also for other people as human beings. So it's just, I don't know, man. This is America. This is the world that we live in, unfortunately. But I do believe that change is going to come. And as I said before, please, please, please take some time for yourself. Because as I said before, and as I'll say it again, we are literally in a war. We are in a warlike time. Keep track of your energy, keep track of your time, keep track of your effort, keep track of your knowledge, keep track of your money too. Because that's another thing. A while back ago, when all this stuff was, gaining its momentum, I said, America, the only language that America really speaks is violence and war. And that is true. But then, as time was going on, I also realized it speaks war and violence, and it also speaks money. So I would also encourage you all to put your money into your communities. Put your money into corporations who actually value your life, into products, into people who actually care about your well-being, or who actually are making an effort to change and to do something about the injustice that's going on. So, yeah, take care of yourselves, because first things first, this battle is not over. This war is not over until human decency is for all people, and when, all Black Lives Matter and all people of the LGBT community are rightfully respected. So we have a long, 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 long way to go. But that does not mean that you have to, step out and not take care of yourself. When you're resting, just think about your soul. Listen to some good music, watch some movies, spend time with your family during this time. But yeah, self-care. Self-care. This has been Tiana with T, reminding you all to continue fighting, to continue using your voice, and to also continue loving on yourself, because we all need it. We can't love each other if we don't love ourselves. But yeah, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay safe. Peace.